John Sykes. Got a matter that I think is a real serious concern to everyone in the township, should be to the supervisors and all the residents. If we can't trust our government, the officers in the government, the supervisors can't make good decisions. The residents are treated unfairly, and constitutional rights are violated, and a lot of time and money is wasted. Now, last month, you may recall, I brought up two questions to the board in the meeting. One was, why did the township report my goats to the DEP? Secondly, I also brought up the fact that my attorney had tried to set up a meeting with Ms. Sebastian about the concerns in the building activities on my property. In both cases, PJ categorically denied that anyone in the township contacted the DEP. I have written confirmation from the DEP that that was just a false statement.
About the goats? I never contacted them about the goats.
The DEP says in writing, as to the goats, I remember the township stating to me that it was against one of their ordinances, zoning most likely.
You don't have a zoning ordinance against it. It would
I
be a
understand
setback
you don't.
situation, and the roads are state roads, so it wouldn't be our setback situation. I did not call DEP about the goats. I don't know if anybody else from the township did, but I
We're good,
did.
PJ.
Secondly, I questioned Ms. Sebastian why she denied a meeting with my attorney. She categorically said there was no request for a meeting. I have a letter that I'll make available to the township supervisors from my attorney saying that he requested a meeting. He called specifically to set up a meeting with Ms. Sebastian and someone from the township and me about the property. In that meeting, Ms. Sebastian completely denied that there was ever a request for a meeting. If you'd like to see the letter, I can make it available to you. Now, I think if you can't trust what you're being told, you're going to make some really bad decisions. It's going to hurt people in the township. It's going to violate constitutional rights. I really, really would plead for you to consider the information you're getting. And if you'd like to see what I have, I'll be glad to share it with you.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
Why'd you put that sign on that truck? That the township doesn't want you to come in?
Because if you notice the sign, there is a cease and desist order for any kind of excavation activity. That's the activity I was doing when I was cleaning those piles of dirt. And PJ came onto my property and said that I cannot do that.
But you haven't stopped, so we haven't stopped you from doing anything.
I-
You didn't stop.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Thank you. Anybody else like to be recognized? Yes, sir.
Mark Jamison, Frog Hollow Road. I have a comment and then a question if you care to reply. I thought the road crew did a good job this summer on Frog Hollow Road banks. They were cut nice, cut up to the crop lines, so I appreciate that. I do have a question, and I'm not up to date on this, so it may be old hash. But on the open space, I mean, I pay a lot of taxes like everyone else, and one tax that I thought was the least offensive, and maybe even I got a return on my money, was the buying of development rights in the township. I lived in the township 55 years, and I've seen the farmland disappear, and I've seen the influx of development. And I always thought, and maybe I'm mistaken, but I always thought simple math, if a house comes in and it's, two kids come into the house, I don't know what it costs, maybe $10,000 per pupil to educate, that's $20,000 a year, and if you get $5,000 of real estate taxes, there's a big gap there. And I don't know if the open space initiative is being declined or reduced down or not, but I'd just like to see that continue, in my opinion.
Mark, I'm aware, I mean, I've talked to you about this, and I'm for open space, but there's, we certainly didn't want this to go to referendum, we wanted to leave the control of the township. So we haven't done away with open space. We're giving the taxpayers a break for a year, because when open space opportunities arise, I believe we're all in agreement, we're gonna consider that,
And if I can add to that, Mark, what we're doing with the open space again is, it's not going away. At this point, the tax will be at 0%, so you won't pay extra tax on it. If a property comes up that we feel is the right property to purchase, that's gonna help the township, then, we have that option to consider buying those rights. We wanna make sure it's the right property also. We don't wanna buy a property that is gonna be too far away, that's never gonna get sewer. Or that, is gonna be in the middle of 4 properties that already have open space, and there's no way anything's ever gonna get to that property. There's no sense in us spending taxpayer money on that piece of land. So that's why at this point, we have land, there's nothing, that I know of that's on the table right away, is there? Open space?
there's nothing right this moment. Right? But there's possibilities, but
There's possibilities, and we're open to those possibilities.
Yeah, we're not.
But at this point, we're gonna, the tax, if we decide to purchase land under open space or purchase the rights to that land, next year, we can increase that tax to make up that money. If we left it on referendum and it got knocked out, then we wouldn't have that option. And if we left it on referendum and it got approved, then it would be set at 0.5% for the next 5 years, and we wouldn't have an option of decreasing that at all. So at this point, we leave the option with the township if something comes up, then we can make a decision on that. And of course, it'll be an open forum, we'll take everybody's input on everything, keep an open mind to it and all that, too, so. Thanks. Joe?
If the Tide Farm if you had an opportunity to buy or share in the purchase of the development rates on the Tide Farm, would you consider that?
I'd have to look at everything and see the location and,
Public sewer is slated to be next door.
If it's the right location, that definitely has that option, then we'd have to look at it and consider buying the rights to it.
Okay.
So it really depends on the situation at hand. It's not the money situation, it's more of the situation at hand. Anybody else? Yes.
It's a bit hypocritical here. I had open space before. She built her home. You had your home here. PJ had her home here. Well, I could have home. I used to drive by nice green open space here.
Back when people used to
So
work,
when,
right?
and who makes the decision and say, I got mine, you can't have any more now, you? Is that not what you're actually saying? I've got my house. Let's stop anybody else from coming in, so I don't have to look at somebody else's house. I mean, I'm not being smart about it.
What was your first name?
Gary.
Gary?
Yeah.
Gary Good?
Yeah, you see what I mean? I used to be able to drive by here, and
We're
not
not
anything,
stopping,
you
we're
know?
not stopping any development at all.
Mhm.
It's just an open space.
But
It's not.
it's a bar, really, we don't want you to
There's
develop your
plenty of
place.
development going
Yeah,
on.
we don't want you to develop your farm, Well, why? I have mine, I don't want anybody else. I don't want to mess up my view, so I don't want any other houses built here. And that's basically what you want to do. I'd like to have it done before all you people came. And I wouldn't have had to put up with all this, I wouldn't have to put all this damn traffic up here. I wouldn't have to go through speed bumps at Cold Irons and go through the next development. If I did. So I would like to have done it back then, but I can't. So now you decide now, let's take and stop anybody else from coming in. Now, yeah, I don't want anybody, building on where I am down there. But the thing is, sometimes your attitude, what it does to me, it says, you know something, Gary? I ought to take and go down to HUD and say, listen, I'll donate my farm if you guarantee to put low-income cluster housing, Section 8 housing on my farm. To bombard you people with all this influx of crime and stuff like that. Because that's what you say to me, we're gonna do this, we don't want you to do that, you know.
Well, it's,
Now, do I wanna do that? No, I don't want that stuff here. You know, it's a lot of people. They complain about these Delaware County people. I had one woman and her husband and child stopped my shop one day in a Honda, came in from Booth Wynn. She said, do you know where this she was sitting in the back seat. She said, you know where this development is? We're thinking about buying it here. I said, let me see. I said, I don't know. I've lived here all my life. They've named all these developments. And she said, well, my husband got a job teaching at the University of Delaware. We'd like to buy out in this area. I said, let me give you some advice right now. Go 6 miles straight west on 472, you'll be in Lancaster County. Cheaper taxes, cheaper, everything's cheaper out there. Auto insurance, everything. If you go out there, she said, oh, you don't know where this is? I said, no, I really don't. I'm sorry I don't. I said, if you go back out towards Hickory Hill, you might find it, you know, out that way. I've already been there, she said. And she said, I stopped at an Amish woman, and she said, you know what happened? She said there was an animal actually defecated in public in front of me. That's what she said. And I said, ma'am, I said, you know, that is really sad. I said, but now, you're making me want to pee. I said, that's what I said to her. Yeah, but that's the kind of people, I say, I don't want them out here living in this area, you know, but complaining about a cow, you know, going to the bathroom in public. Now, does everybody from Delaware County have that attitude? I don't know. People say, oh, them Delaware counties come out here and they want to run everything we do. I don't know. But I don't want any more houses here. I don't want any more, you know, I don't want anything out of here. I want to keep it the way it is. It's too confusing now.
well,
The infrastructure's no good. You can't get around, you know.
no, I just hope one, but we have.
Thank you, Gary.
The issue was presented, hopefully you voted the way you wanted to vote. It wasn't us.
Yeah.
All right,
Right, and I mean,
moving on.
this is an ongoing discussion, because I just wanna say that, you know, there are varying viewpoints, and I'm one who's still, I'm not convinced that the statistics prove and bear out that keeping open land will lessen the school taxes. I mean, you've heard us discussing health insurance. That discussion is going on within the school districts, within all businesses right now. And that will, you know, most likely raise school taxes if they have to negotiate with the union and such and pay for the, you know how everything is now with the health insurance and pay. So I'm just saying that, you know, and in principle, I think, John's bringing up the idea of a fairground, that would be different. Everybody could possibly use it, or it's a park that you could possibly use, but to purchase land, and it's purchasing development rights, that's all we buy, you can't use that land, you know, it's a farmland. So, does it lower school taxes? I mean, I haven't seen full proof that that will continue to be a cause and effect relationship. So, I'm just putting out my opinion, and we're still in discussion where we'll go with the open space tax.
Okay, is there anybody else who'd like to be recognized? All right. Winnie, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I do not.
Pat?
I do,
Please go.
shortly. No, okay. Just want to let everybody know, Mount Pleasant Road is going to be closed October 20th till the end of the month, the 30th, 31st, from Grant Street to the railroad tracks. They are repairing, repaving, and rebuilding the tracks. So, 10 days approximately the end of this month, that will take place for everyone to know. I have a question. Last year, I had very graciously asked this wonderful board if they would, Thanksgiving and Christmas is on a Thursday, both, and I had asked if the board would consider giving us the Friday after the holiday off, and we thank you again for doing that, whatever. And I was wondering if you would allow us to have Friday after the both holidays off again, closing the office with pay.
We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna consider this.
Yeah.
That's something that is,
And it was approved last year, just wanted to,
Haven't approved for Christmas.
Thanksgiving and Christmas.
It was?
Yes, sir.
Well, what we do have, just to give you an idea here, Pat, do have two floating.
Yes.
I don't know about that.
You use your two floating holidays?
I'm asking the board if they would consider doing that.
Okay, I'm just asking
And I still have time
questions.
left.
So that's what I'm just trying to.
I think where Pat's going is, how much efficiency do we have, having them perform work on those days?
Give me that go.
You know, is it gonna be just the same as them sitting at home?
And seriously, we work till 12 o'clock that day. Fridays, we work till 12.
Yeah,
And it would be very gracious of all of you to allow us to have all
All right,
that
I'll
morning.
put it
Give
this
us,
way.
for next month, put their, you want an executive meeting, okay, we're having,
Hey,
discuss these issues.
I'll put it this way. That'd be 2 days, like, after Thanksgiving, you want all, right?
Day after Thanksgiving
And
and
day
day
after,
after
so that'd be
Christmas.
your Christmas present for us.
We'll accept it.
I ain't making no motion.
See your pay.
No, it's just set up.
All right, we'll bring it up at the, we'll talk
We'll
about
bring
it
it up
at the
at
next
the-
meeting.
we'll have an executive session to talk about
Would
personnel.
someone please remember that? I'll continue with you.
Oh,
Thank you.
I don't think we're gonna be allowed to forget it.
Well, I won't be there, so.
Well,
Thank you.
Anything else, Pat?
No,
you're not gonna be there.
Susie?
I don't know.
Just a reminder that the budget meeting is this coming Tuesday. Did anyone tell you that, Jane?
They
You weren't
did.
here? Okay.
21st.
5
At
o'clock?
5 o'clock.
21st.
Yes.
Just so everybody knows
5.
also, because, everybody can come, right?
And if anyone, Art and I actually sat down, he had come up with a proposed budget. So I will, implement his suggestions. If anyone else has anything that they want to, tell me, since I usually come up with a proposed budget, and then you can change it however you want to. But just let me know, because it just helps us in balancing it if you get, let me know.
So you don't have to say anyway, but the script. Yeah, good, I like it.
Everybody, next Tuesday, the 21st, at 5 o'clock, we do have our annual budget meeting. Everybody is welcome to come. Just let everybody know. Okay, thank you, Susie. PJ?
Yeah, I just wanted, Art and Mark and I went to the, Act 167 Stormwater Management Ordinance Summit in the Wagon Fire Hall. And, there was a bunch of municipalities that got together and we were kind of comparing notes and so forth. It was good information. I did get something from the Chester County Water Resource
I don't know how to make this work, I'm sorry.
Authority.
Your son probably.
Try the off button.
You probably didn't turn it on.
Anyway, I forwarded that to you guys. There was one really good thing on there, the USGS water alert system. There's,
Free.
it's free and it's a way that you can have flood alerts come to your phone during flood alerts. In certain, like if you were
Well,
to
that's-
live on the other side of,
You set that up on your.
I
that's
get
not
that
something you-
now.
on your,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think on my phone, yeah.
Weather app.
Okay, well, I guess I'm behind the times.
Yeah, I think everybody gets that.
I don't. Mine
So you have to set it up.
I didn't get that.
You have to let them know your location.
So you can get that, but you don't have to.
weather
turn it
underground
on.
map.
Well, I don't know, this is a new phone, I haven't got, this is my first day on the ground.
Send an email.
That's
the case.
No, you need the weather map.
Can't get it.
It doesn't?
Okay, Jean?
Jane, you guys are
Jane, anything?
Yes, just so general public knows and the board, at the polls this year, there will be a box for food donations of non-perishable. So if you would be inclined, and hopefully you'll be voting, if you'd like to bring a canned good or something, we will be working in conjunction. The entire county's doing it with various social service agencies, but more than likely, we will work with Oxford Neighborhood Services for ours. So,
Thank you. Bart?
Covered everything on that.
Done? Nothing. I have nothing, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. We look forward to seeing you guys, if you can make the budget meeting, that's great. If not, we'll see you next month.
You have to adjourn.